Normal people are winning on YouTube. And what does normal mean? Well, essentially it means you just don't have to do as much as you used to. You don't have to go through a big editing sequence with all kinds of visuals to try to make your point. YouTube is pushing and allowing channels that just have plain videos without any effects, without any text, without any editing to grow. So in this video, I want to go over some of the examples and the strategies that these channels are using to grow without all the extra stuff and how you can do it too. The first thing to talk about is how the YouTube landscape is a little bit different than it used to be. And I mentioned it in the beginning of this video, but you don't have to have a hyper edited video. You don't have to have a Mr. Beast style video with all the edits and the cuts every 1.5 to 2 seconds to hold people's attention. If you have something of value to share, if you are teaching something or you're giving a life lesson or anything that someone or a group of people are gonna wanna know about, you don't need to do hyper editing. You don't need to do all these big fancy things with the video. You can simply just hit record on your phone, sit down somewhere, have good audio, and just talk. You don't need to do anything extra than that. Make your point concise, don't ramble on, give value up front and try to help your audience out. Or if you are just sharing opinions on life or other things, then you're going to want to do that without having anything extra in the video. The great thing about this is you don't need B-roll, you don't need text, you don't need anything, sound effects. You can just record and upload that video. And if you want to make a few edits, you can, but this is great because it lowers the barrier of entry. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or even if you're trying to reinvent a YouTube channel, maybe your niche would be able to use one of these kind of minimalistic style videos, setups, whether that's just for one video or if it's for your entire channel style. You can use this where you don't need to do anything extra. You just hit record, talk about what you need to talk about, and then upload it. All right, so what is this simple strategy that's working? Well, the first thing is you want to post frequently. So ideally daily. Some of these channels are just posting daily. And again, you don't have to do all the editing. So it's really just about finding something that you're going to talk about, a good idea, a good topic, something that you need to say, setting up the camera and going. You don't even have to have lighting. You can just go next to a window. You can go out to your car. You can be outside. It doesn't even matter. You just set up the camera, you hit record, you talk for a bit, trim the edges and upload. So frequency is a big deal with this style because it gives you reps, but it gives a whole pool of topics and ideas that you're going to be able to put on your YouTube channel to help it grow. Another part of this strategy is to batch record. If you notice some of these channels that do this, they have multiple videos where they're wearing the same clothes, it's in the same exact setting, and you can tell they batch recorded a lot of these videos because they have multiple topics to talk about, and because there's not a lot of hype and a lot of things they have to do in the edit, or even for pre-production or scripting, they just have these simple topics that they want to share their opinions on. They're able to just talk to the camera for 10, 15 minutes, stop recording, move on to the next topic, hit record, and start talking again. So batch recording is a big part of this system. The next part of this system is the packaging and how the thumbnails and titles work. These channels are keeping their titles very simple, very direct to the point, and they're also keeping their thumbnails the same way. They'll have very simple thumbnails, often screen grabs of just a video itself and not having text overlaid, or maybe a few words here or there, but it's very simplistic. You're not doing a lot of editing. If any editing at all, you might just take a screen grab and throw it up there, and your titles are pretty simple and straight to the point. And because that kind of fits what they're talking about in the audience that they're looking for, it works. So if that's something that you can do and you can craft your videos around, try to keep your title simple. Don't necessarily go for the hacks or the formulas or the other things. Just straight up tell the audience what you're going to talk about. Have a frame that is from the video so they know what to expect when they're going to watch the video, and use that, and you'll be able to get views that way. And the last thing that's great about this strategy, and I mentioned before, is you don't need a bunch of equipment. You don't need a fancy camera, lights, a whole studio, a setup. You just need your phone, maybe a microphone for your phone. But even if you have your phone and you're sitting in your car or somewhere quiet, the audio from that will work if you're close enough to the phone. So you don't need a bunch of gear. That's what's so cool about this setup. It's really simple and it's effective. All right, let's look at some proof from real creators. Let's jump over to the screen. I have Connor Woodman pulled up here. And Connor, you might have seen this first video here come across your page at some point. But this guy essentially just has some concepts that he wants to talk about. He sets up his phone in the woods. I can't even tell if he has a mic. It might just use the microphone from the phone itself, but it sounds good. It's really simple. If I click on his video here, I'm in the middle of it, but this is what he does. He has some notes written down on a paper. He glances down and looks at them. He talks through it. There's no editing. And it's really effective. I mean, this has over 1 million views here. It's resonated with the audience that he has, and he's done a ton of videos. Like if you go and look at like his oldest videos, let's go back. It's only one year ago, but look at the amount of videos that he has produced. I mean, it is insane. If I go back to the latest, we can kind of see this was 2 days ago, this was 3 days ago, this is 4 days ago, this is 11 days ago, a month. So he doesn't quite do every single day, but for the most part, he gets in a rhythm where he's doing 2 or 3 videos a week and just outputting and putting not a ton of video production effort into it. It's all about his idea, what he's sharing, and then just getting it out in front of the people. And I can tell you right now that he's making quite a bit of ad revenue just monthly because of the amount of views he's getting. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's going to be in the uppers of probably $7,000 to $10,000 a month on average with ad revenue. And so if he is able to monetize elsewhere with courses, coaching, other things, then he's making a good amount of money off of just posting these really simple videos. Another channel I want to look at is the Dry Creek Wrangler School. Okay, so this is just like cowboy, right? If you come down here and look at this video has 7.3 million. This has 5.6 million. This channel has 1.5 million subscribers. And this is what he does. He sits down, sets his phone up, sits on a chair, and just talks about a topic. It is so crucial to know your audience and to have the right things to say or the things that you want to share that are valuable to them. But he doesn't do any of the production, the video production stuff that we want to see or say we want to see. As YouTube growth channels, we're always talking about making sure the cut is engaging and the text is engaging, and all these things are happening on the screen. Yet these guys are doing things successfully with just simple recording and uploading. And that shows you how much the idea is key. Like if you have a good idea that you're talking through and you're sharing your thoughts on or perspective on, it'll find the right audience and it'll grow, and you can grow business based off of that without needing all the extra stuff. So these two channels right here are great examples of the minimalistic style of editing, and not editing, if you will, and just recording and talking and not having to do all the hype. All right, what is the things that they all do? So I showed you a couple examples of channels like this. There are a number of channels that are doing this. What are some of the things that they all do? So like I said in the strategy part before, these channels all post frequently. Then most of them post daily or at least 3 times a week. So that's what you're going to want to do. If you're going to do this format, the more you put out, the more reps you get in there, the better you are at conveying what you want to say and talking to the audience. But also it just gives more chances for YouTube to show your videos to other people that might be in your audience. So you want to be frequent with this. And so again, you don't want to edit. You don't want to, rack your brain over all the process of it. You want to come up with a clear idea and quickly record it and then upload it and not worry about it too much. So another thing that these channels do is talk directly to the camera. So they're just having a conversation with the people on the other side of the camera. They're not like trying to like muster up energy or anything else. They're literally, it's like you're talking to them one-on-one, and they're just talking, and they have a clear, concise theme throughout the videos. They're not rambling about different topics. They have a very clear and concise thing that they're saying. And so you want to keep your videos to that as well. They also didn't start with polished videos. They started with raw videos, and most of them are keeping with that theme of raw videos. They don't need to polish it. They just need to upload it. And over time, you'll see as the channels grow, they do refine their niche a bit. They refine kind of what they're talking about to fit into where the audience is growing. So that's something you want to pay attention to as you do this. Because you're outputting so much videos, you need to pay attention to what videos are resonating with your audience and making sure that you are doubling down on those and communicating on those a little bit more in detail. And then that way your channel will grow that way. And you're not just talking about random things, your niche and your themes kind of narrow down as the channel grows. All right, so what are some of my takeaways after looking through some of these channels? And the first thing is you don't need to be great to start. You don't need to have everything put together. You just start. You start as who you are, where you are, and you don't need to try to fluff it up and make it something that it's not. And the thing is, daily creation builds your skill, it builds your confidence, and allows you to kind of grow into your voice and what you're gonna do with your channel. So just putting in the reps is a massive thing that you need to get into a rhythm of doing, because it just kind of speeds up that process and brings you into a place where you know your voice, you know what you're talking about, you know who you're talking to, and you can be way more effective that way. And the coolest takeaway is that this is a very repeatable setup. It's a very repeatable system. You can do this over and over daily and weekly, and it'll build your channel, not only your channel, but it will build your business. Depending on what you're setting up your niche around, it can build your business with these simple, minimalistic, chill videos where you're not putting in a lot of effort in the editing side or even some of the planning side. You just make sure you have a good idea and that the concept is good and resonates with your audience, and you simply just share the information, share your opinions, and teach them what you know about it. And it builds from there. It just sets this foundation. So that's really cool that it's repeatable, it's easy to do, and it's definitely something I could see you guys doing in your channels. Hey, if you got value out of this video, click the like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video.